just my own personal case, I had some symptoms, obviously, started the day of the Oklahoma game. I just thought they were some mild things. I thought I had a cold or something. And then when our three big guys tested positive or complained of symptoms on Sunday, we had them tested. They tested positive. We started looking at all of us, and we made the decision. I was the first one, I think, after the players to get tested. I tested positive, and then obviously it was a wildfire after that. I'm on day 6 today, so with the new rules, technically, I could test out. I did test this morning. I did not test out. I tested positive again. I was packed and ready to go to practice and go on the trip, and I cannot be part of it because of the testing out procedure. We had 4 people total try to test this morning, players and coaches. Only one tested negative, who could go on the trip. So we also, since the game, we've had some other guys go down. Coach Southwell, Coach Michael, went down, and so we're down to Coach Henderson and Coach Price, Zach Price, our GA, will be running. They ran practice today and yesterday, and they'll be trying to do their best tomorrow, at West Virginia. So Marquise is done with his 10 days. And so yesterday was day 11, and today's day 11. So he was able to practice. So he'll be available for the game. So we just, it's a difficult situation. Obviously it's frustrating. There's a lot of programs around the country that are shut down, and there's obviously some places where they've been missing players. West Virginia had some guys missing at Texas, but had I say good fortune to have a game canceled, so they got to recover and get their guys back. We've just like last year, we've stayed around that number where we, according to Big 12 rules, have enough, one coach, Coach Henderson, and enough players to play. I don't think it's right. I think it's unfair. I've expressed that to the league office last year. I did this year to our administration, but that's the rules, and you got to play by the rules. I just hope everyone is playing by the same rules. So, but it's just, it's tough on our guys mentally. It's tough on the staff. But I thought, to Coach Henderson, Coach Southwell, Coach Michael, and Coach Price, I thought they did a great job at Texas of getting our guys to play with energy and passion. That's when I did our calls with the players after this all kind of happened. We just talked about having great passion, energy. You have nothing to lose. You fight your butt off. I thought, obviously great first half. Second half, it's some bad possessions, and Texas is a good team, and just, I'm not sure if it just kind of took a toll, not having enough bodies, especially the big guys, probably took a little toll on the game. So you got a difficult task at West Virginia. Sounds like, just the report I heard this morning, they got their guys back, so they'll be more full go. Obviously, I don't know if some other guys are missing. We'll just have to see. But they, their style of play, their chaotic pressing, and that, play will be difficult for us to deal with, and their physicality inside. But, again, we just, all you can do is do your best. And Coach Henderson and, Coach Price, we were on the phone watching film, Zooming, talking. Coach Lowry, Coach Southwell, everyone, we've been all trying to help and encourage. And I hope and anticipate our guys to come out with good energy, and I hope we got to play strong, obviously, against them. Got to keep your poise, and we're going to have to do a good job of dealing with their physicality inside, with limited numbers. So it's it is what it is. You got to just make the best of it and go forward from there.
Thanks, Coach. Next, first question to Kellis.
Hey, Bruce, tried to absorb everything you just said there. So how close are you guys to the minimums? You got the one coach. How many players would you expect for this month?
I think we'll be up to 7 players.
Okay, so similar to last time. What's just the hardest thing about that when you are undermanned and undercoached? What's the hardest thing about getting through a game like that?
Well, part of it is we just haven't had the chance to practice. You can't practice. You don't have enough people for practice, and that's really hard. And then yesterday's you're off the day before, and the guys, to their credit, watching film, talking to us, Zooming. I mean, our guys care. They really care. We did a little, Zoom together yesterday because we had some, obviously, with Coach Southwell and Coach Michael, and coming, having their situation, made it even tougher. But they, our guys care. But yesterday, when all this happened, they were trying to get practice going, and then we had to scramble after we had more guys go down. We had to get more guys tested. They had to cut practice short. Just that you can't prepare. How do you, and against West Virginia, you're trying to prepare against the press, and you don't have enough people in the gym. We don't have managers in the, we lost, I think it's like 3 or 4 managers have also, so we can't even stand them out there to help. So that preparation part is tough. Obviously, you see in the game, all you had was Carlton and Ish, with any size. It's just it makes it tough especially as you go on in the game, the physicality. Allen got going, rebounding. Just the inside presence kind of took a little bit of a toll, I thought, in the game. So it's that part of it's tough as a coach. I was hoping, myself and Coach Spiro, we were hoping that this was a day we could maybe possibly go on a trip. We'd be there to help them. And, we don't have enough people. It's hard to manage a game, a college basketball game at a high level with one coach. And then you got, obviously Zach does a good job, but it's just play calls, substitutions. We're trying to monitor Carlton's minutes, who, he's been injured, and now you're going to have to manage Marquise's minutes. So there's a lot of things going on. So as a coaching, it's hard also. There's no doubt about it. I was texting and with the coaches on the bench and talking to our other coaches. We're all at home trying to help, suggestions, because sometimes you see things that normally the coaches do during the regular game, suggesting and that. So it makes it tough. But again, it's just, it is what it is, and we got to deal with it.
And are you just at home right now?
Yeah, technically on CDC policy, I can go masked out now. I'm on day 6 because it's 5, but I'm gonna, be careful. And obviously I'm still trying to quarantine for my wife because I don't want her to get it. She's been fortunate so far. I'm not sure how, because most of the other wives all have it. Our staff's wives are all have tested positive also. So it's it's affected our families also.
All right. Well, hope you get to feeling better, and we'll see you back next week.
Yep.
Next question to Michael.
Yeah, Bruce, did the league have to set that particular standard that you could text and communicate with coaches on the bench from afar?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's illegal. I don't know. I did it. So I don't know. If I want to they turn me in for that, so be it. I don't care. But we're just trying to help them. I mean,
Okay.
so I don't know. I just text the coaches or GAs. I said, have your phones on and let me try to help them. So sorry about that. Jermaine was just calling me after practice, but yeah, we'll continue to do that and try to help and the best we can. It's tough to manage the game as a coach, and then when you have other circumstances with the guys coming back and things like that without practice, I just hope it all works out for the best and we get everyone back together and get it next week as much as possible and can get after it next week.
Does it kind of fall to the managers to keep track of those minutes and
Yeah,
suggest
and we
some
got other
substitutions?
guys on that too. So I think we got 3 managers going that can total go. So some are it's a mess because you got contact tracing with managers living together and things like that. So they're going to have to watch and help and everyone's got to give a little bit. Our radio people are out too, so it's hit everyone.
And what kind of conversations have you had with Shane since the game on Tuesday?
Oh, I've talked to him a bunch after the game. I mean, as soon as the game was over, he, called and we talked to Jermaine. I thought it went well. Obviously you want to win. I mean, that's why you go out there and they had it where it was manageable and, we got to do a better job. There's always that when we've had struggles, there's always that little stretch where we have 3 or 4 bad possessions on offense. They led to some mental breakdowns on defense. We gave them a couple easy things. I mean, we all, all feel bad about that, but I thought they did a great job managing the game and giving the players a chance. Again, a few layups, maybe make a couple extra passes. I mean, we keep saying those things, but, hopefully we still got a lot of basketball to go, a lot of big games, get some continuity. I'm hoping, I always think the worst is behind us, but seems like every day something else happens. So, but we'll see.
And to clarify, you have 7 scholarship players or total?
I believe so. And then Drew Honus. So, yeah.
And I didn't see Taz Sherman in their starting lineup. You know if he's available?
Well, the coaches sent me a thing today that they heard that their guys are all back. So I don't know.
All right,
Or that would be back. And it would be like Marquise. It would make sense that it was a 10-day and now you're to the 5-day. So if they were out that Texas game, that was last week. So, most of the guys tested positive after Christmas and, it would be about 10 days now.
Right. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Next question to Nick Jacobs.
Bruce, I'm curious for you, having gone through this last year and having to navigate this again this year, what have you kind of learned through that process, and what have you learned about yourself as a coach through all this?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, and I was to stay positive and help the guys. It's about them. They get to play college basketball once in their life. Obviously, they got a year of grace last year. Guys like Mark Smith and Mike McGurl and really, getting that extra year, taking advantage of it. The other guys, it'll be in their future. But this is them. This is about them and helping them. And they work their tails off. They care. And so we got to be there for them and help them. I think that's the biggest thing. I talked last year a lot. Coach Kleiman went through it early and the frustrations and he just kept telling me, this is coming. And obviously this new variant didn't hit football until maybe a little bit. I know they lost a few guys late for the bowl game and things, but he helped me with just saying, hey, coach, don't get frustrated, be positive. And I think overall that's what you got to do. And you just got to grind and help them. And again, I talking to Shane this morning and Coach Southwell, and we talked about last year, and, to our guys' credit, how we hung together. And when we finally had our pieces together and actually had some practice, we were pretty good at the end. And that's got to be our mindset and our goal. Hopefully it comes earlier than the last 6. We got to, I hope again the worst is behind us. We haven't had everybody test positive, but we do. I would tell you, in the young people, the booster has worked. The old people, the booster hasn't been as successful, but so far with the young people, the booster has worked. So I'm hoping that's going to stay the case. And then you got guys that have had COVID again. Do we know we can get this second variant again? I don't think anyone knows that. We asked the doctors that. No one's so new. I don't think anyone really knows. So I guess the good part of the booster for people that are older is that it seems like none of us have really gotten real sick, so mine is, I had mild symptoms, and then the biggest thing is and people, I've read about it and all that, you're just that tired feeling and the fog, COVID fog. And you'll if you get it, you'll feel it, you'll know it.
Next question to Ryan Gilbert.
Hey, Coach, going back to that Texas game for just a second, Carlton Lingard played a lot in the first half. How do you assess his performance in that Power 5, competition?
Well, again, this is something it's hard to explain. And I even to administration and talking to people, this is a young man that played, he played more basketball 2 weeks ago in a practice after Christmas than he's done in the last year in one practice. And now you're trying to get him to play in a high level game, against a whatever team it is. And, we were worried about managing his, we didn't want to get him hurt. We're not, so the second half, I think that was, one of the texts I sent during the thing was, maybe get Carlton back in. And I think they were worried about his knee, just overdoing it. And we wanted to survive it. I thought he did well. Again, we told all the guys, take advantage of the situation, whether it's Luke getting extra minutes or, so each guy had to do a little more. But I thought, Carlton was fine. Physicality, we'll see how he does Saturday with their physicality. It wasn't, Texas is physical, but not overwhelming. So, but he, I thought he did fine for, just again, limited practice, limited playing, limited experience. He has talent and he is long. And we talk about as coaches, if we could just get him where he got some consistency with practice, feeling good, he could, he's a weapon because he's got great hands and can shoot the basketball.
And then during these crazy times, is Siri just back home, or are you guys just kind of telling him not to?
Well, Siri went home for Christmas, and then he has appointments with his doctor there. And he was going to come back, and then when all this stuff kind of started, we just told him to stay there and get through his doctor's appointments. Then he'll be back next week. So he stayed. We let Max stay home a little extra for Christmas also, but he's starting to make his start of progression, getting back into drills and practice and things like that, workouts, is ahead of Surrey's, because Surrey's a different injury. So Max is getting on the court a little more now, and maybe if it all goes right, we get him back in practice by the end of the month, which will be not, for him mentally and feeling good about himself, and also another body in practice never hurts.
Thank you, Coach. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Coach before? It's like, oh,
Grant,
go ahead, Grant.
So Coach, I mean, if you don't want to say it, that's fine. But Marquise Noel coming back, but still having 7 scholarship players means another scholarship player left. Can we know who that is, or are you trying to keep that quiet?
Yes, I'm trying to keep that quiet.
Okay, then we will not that let go. I do want to ask too.
There's no sense in giving the opponent an advantage, right?
I understand that completely.
You'll see who shows up at warmups tomorrow.
So other question I have is, obviously Chris Lowry's been dealing with COVID along with you. Do you expect to get back at the same time as him, and how is he feeling?
I was ahead of him on the start of symptoms, my day 0, whatever they call it. I've learned a lot in the last week. So I think he's 2 days behind me with a handful of other people. You know, it's hit us all. And even young guy Shane, you know, you think young guys are okay. It kicked his butt a little bit too. So Nate Michael's really young, younger than him even, and we had a Zoom yesterday and we had to wake him up. So I think that's the biggest thing. You just feel yucky. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's not a great feeling.
And then, I mean, overall, how do you think Shane did on the sidelines against Texas?
I thought he was great. I thought Shane was great. Obviously, you know, even when he got on phone, I wish we'd have done this. You know, it's hard. It's hard to manage the game. He even talked this morning. We feel bad. Once I found out I couldn't go and Coach Spiro couldn't go, that was the first thing when he called and talked about, he goes, God, how, you know, it's going to be really hard on those 2 guys. It's hard. It's just, you know, you're trying to, and especially get them, you're going to have press offense. It's not what you're going to run. Now your matchups, you're getting back and changing defenses. We tried to change defense, keep them off balance. You know, so there's a lot there that you have to think about and worry about. But Jermaine will do fine. He's been in this seat before years ago at Miami, and you know, got great energy. And that's all you can do is be positive with the guys. And I thought that was the best thing. Those guys, you could just feel sorry, or you could say we got an opportunity to make the most of it. And I thought they did. And it was just you wish we would have, you know, that 1 4-minute stretch in the second half that you wish you could have controlled that a little better and, you know, make it a close game and see what happens.
Last one I got for you is that something you think when you get everyone back, including yourself, you know, second halves haven't really been an issue for you. First halves have been until Texas, it seems like. Do you think when everyone comes back, you can pull a complete game? I know you want one tomorrow, but that's a tough
Yeah, no, we want I mean, that's got to be the key. You got to have, I think our step, and I've talked to them just, you know, that the consistency probably would be, if we're going to take a step and compete with all these elite teams and find ways to win, we have to get consistent.